Guys, what's up? Let's jump straight into Bitcoin because the situation right now is getting really interesting. As you remember from the previous Bitcoin update, I was using this Fibonacci extension grid, and as you can see, the targets from that grid line up perfectly with the 50 EMA and with this major resistance zone around $98,000. In that video, I also mentioned that price could pull back first, and that's exactly what happened. Bitcoin moved into a correction, came straight into our zone, and tapped it literally dollar for dollar. And the way it reacted, beautiful, a clean fake out, a sharp reclaim, and an immediate bounce. By the way, on this move I've already made around $5,000. I'll show you the exact entries and exits at the end of the video. But for now, I want to switch to something even more important than this trade. Because technicals are one thing, but the mindset behind your decisions is what actually determines whether you grow or stay stuck. So let's move to that pyramid I showed you earlier, the structure that explains why some traders improve fast and others keep repeating the same mistakes for years. So let's break down this pyramid because this is not just a motivational picture. This is the reality of why most traders never move past the same level. Everyone wants results. Everyone dreams about the top of the pyramid, but nobody wants to look at the layers beneath it. And here's the truth, results are never the first step, they're the last step. Determination. At the bottom, we have determination. The energy you start with, the excitement, the vision. This is the fuel that gets you moving. But determination alone never lasts. It burns fast. And if there's no structure above it, you will collapse right back into old habits. Next comes calmness, because without emotional stability, every setup becomes a gamble and every loss becomes a crisis. Calmness doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means your feelings don't execute the trades for you. Most bad trades aren't bad ideas, they're good ideas executed in the wrong emotional state. Panic says, close now. Euphoria says, add more. But calmness keeps you inside your plan. True calmness comes from preparation, proper size, clear invalidation, and knowing exactly what you're willing to lose. When those things are defined, there's nothing left to fear, and the market can't shake you out as easily. Next is patience, one of the hardest skills in trading, not because the charts are complicated, but because the market constantly tempts you to act too early. Patience is the ability to wait when nothing is ready and hold when everything inside you wants to close early. Most traders lose money not because they choose the wrong direction, but because they choose the right direction at the wrong time. Entries are ruined by impatience. Exits are ruined by impatience. Entire strategies fall apart because the trader simply couldn't wait. Patience is what protects your capital during sideways markets, noise, fakeouts, and emotional impulses. It keeps you from forcing trades just because you're bored or because the market moved without you. And here's the paradox, the more patient you become, the less you trade, but the more you make. Because patience filters out 90% of low probability setups and leaves only the best ones. When your level finally comes, patience lets you take it calmly, confidently, with zero hesitation. This is why patience sits above calmness in the pyramid. You can't wait for the right moment if your emotions are out of control. Above patience comes resilience, the layer where real traders are built. Resilience isn't about avoiding losses, it's about recovering cleanly when a loss happens. A resilient trader doesn't break their system after one bad week. Resilience turns setbacks into feedback, not frustration. It's the ability to come back stronger, not bitter. And finally, results. The top of the pyramid, the part everyone wants, but the part no one gets immediately. Because results are never created by one decision, one trade, one lucky moment. Results are the accumulation of every layer beneath them. You don't get results because you pushed harder. You get results because you became stable enough to execute consistently. You stopped overtrading. You stopped forcing entries. You stopped panicking during drawdowns. You built a system, and the system started producing outcomes. Results are not the reward for motivation. They are the consequence of discipline. When you've developed determination, calmness, patience, and resilience, results stop being random. They become repeatable, predictable, scalable. And here's the part most traders miss. Results don't appear gradually, they appear suddenly. One day nothing works, then you fix one weak link, adjust one layer, and everything clicks into place. It feels like progress comes overnight, but in reality, it comes the moment your foundation becomes complete. That's why results sit at the very top. They are not a skill, they are a reflection of your structure. So now you understand the full pyramid: determination, calmness, patience, resilience, and only then, results. And this is exactly why I wanted to show it before we move to the trades. Because every entry, every exit, every decision I'm about to show you was made through this structure. Not by guessing, not by luck, by following the system. So let's break down the trades from this move, where I already locked in around $5,000. I'll walk you through the setup, the timing, and the logic behind each position so you can see how all of this works in practice. Let's dive in. In the previous Bitcoin video, I showed you that price was likely to come back and retest the Fibonacci level, and that's exactly what it did. We could have placed a limit order right at that level, but I prefer waiting for confirmation so I can tighten my stop. And we got exactly the reaction we needed, a clean, aggressive bounce. Once that bounce happened, I pulled the Fibonacci grid again, and look what it showed us. A perfect retest, dollar for dollar. And not only that, this level also lined up with the previously broken range, giving the setup even more structure and even more confidence. And while Bitcoin was making that move, I started scanning for strong alt pairs. One of them was ZEC, a coin that recently gained a lot of attention, and honestly, the chart looked really clean. I entered market exactly when Bitcoin tapped the Fibonacci level. My stop was placed below the imbalance fill. Clean structure, clean invalidation. Same logic applied to Solana. Beautiful momentum, strong levels, and a clear reaction area. You can see the results on the screen. And here's the point. These trades didn't work out because of luck, not because the market suddenly behaved. They worked because the structure was there. The system, the timing, the emotional control, everything we talked about in the pyramid. When your mindset is aligned and your technicals are clear, opportunities don't feel random anymore. They feel obvious. That's the difference between guessing and trading with intention. So review these examples, apply the pyramid to your own process, and don't just look for better trades. Build a better trader behind them. I'll see you in the next update.